dosage rise.
Or there's a difference between a high dose of an extract and a high dose of the food, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's there the different, but be careful anyway with curcumin. Yeah. Crosstalk, so please don't forget the crosstalk. Some hints on that. It's always bidirectional. Consider that the etiopathogenesis of a disease can be psychosomatic, but also somatopsychic. Psychosomatic, stress and ulcer, everybody knows. Somatopsychic. Why that woman, 55 years old, until yesterday she had a wonderful mood and now she has mood disorders? If you don't have this concept of bidirectional crosstalk, you can answer me, hey Alessandro, low level of serotonin because the nucleus of bulbo and raphe is working too little. No, the problem is that low level of estrogens are not more able to stimulate the cells of the nucleus of bulbo and raphe to produce serotonin. So please don't think of a disease as a disease of an organ, but always of a system. Postmenopausal depression is not a problem of the central nervous system. It's mainly a problem of the ovaries. Vitiligo is not a problem only of the skin. I underline only, is a problem of the immune system. That's absolutely important. It's a paradigm shift, but you cannot imagine the results you can reach with this approach. So always bidirectional, top, bottom, bottom, top. The extracellular matrix is crucial for the crosstalk. Only the physiological concentrations of signaling molecules is able to talk to the homeostatic control system. If I want to tell TH1, TH17, hey, please don't work so much, otherwise the system will be inflamed. The only possibility is to use the only language cells are able to understand, signaling molecules, with the right volume. Cells don't want to be screamed. They want to be whispered. We use a concentration that whispers to the cells. The biggest chart, just to close this topic, the biggest chart is not Facebook. No, absolutely not. It's not Instagram. The biggest chart is in our body. 40,000 persons, the cells that are connected each other through internet, where internet is not internet but is our extracellular matrix, and instead of to send emails, they send signaling molecules. I'm still a kid and I imagine into my body all the cells with a little computer sending growth factors, interleukins, neuropeptides. What happens when you don't have connection in your smartphone? Panic! Panic. The same happens in our body. If there is no connection between a central nervous system cell and an endocrine system cell, panic in our body, that means disease. Okay, we can restore the connection using low dose signaling molecules. That's the deep concept of paradigm shift. So it's not Facebook, but our cells. An example, I go even deeper, but also the first application. We are speaking about crosstalk inside of the PNEI network. One of the most famous and well-known axes is the HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, adrenal axis. It's the stress axis. What happened is interesting, very interesting. I reproduce here the same, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, hypophysis, adrenals. This is central nervous system, mesolimbic structure, cortex, and this is a psychological stress. Crosstalk, communication. The cortical structure communicates to the mesolimbic structure communicates to hypothalamus. Volume, that means the physiological concentration. In fact, it affects your ears.
It's panic as well.
It's overdosage. Overdosage. Okay, start from this axis, the stress axis. What happened now when I heard this sound? Boom, boom, boom. Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus overstimulated, produce an excess of releasing hormones. Hypothalamic releasing hormones. My friends, when I say an excess, if you have the concept of homeostasis, it means that instead of to produce releasing hormones in a physiological homeostatic concentration, I'm producing plus, plus, plus. This overproduction of hypothalamic releasing hormones overstimulate pituitary gland to produce hypophyseal tropins, especially ACTH. ACTH overexpressed, overstimulates adrenals, the cortical part, to produce what? Cortisol. Cortisol is not good, not bad. It depends by the concentration. If under chronic stress, I hate my colleague, every day I see my colleague in the office, it's not good. Cortisol rises. Cortisol, look, crosstalk, my friend. If you catch this concept, you are inside of low-dose medicine. Cortisol is able to crosstalk inside of the endocrine system. For instance, with the so-called long negative retroaction circuit, cortisol is able to downregulate the transmembrane receptors at the level of hypothalamus cells. It means that cortisol is able to burn hypothalamus. So inside of the same system in the PNEI network. But cortisol overexpressed can be also able to speak to the P and N in the PNEI network. I mean, cortisol is able also to interfere with the physiology of the central nervous system and the autonomic system. My friend asked me before starting the seminar something about that. Look, HPA hyperactivation, ACTH high, cortisol high, 5-hydroxytryptophan down. Now we understand which is the connection between stress and major depressive syndrome. Major depressive syndrome is not a problem of the nucleus of bulbo and raphe. Serotonin is not only there. Look at the following slide. This is absolutely amazing. Don't worry, because first glance you don't understand anything. Me too. But follow my pointer. First of all, this is Neurochemistry Research 2007. HPA activation, stress axis activation. Hypercortisolemia, okay, we agree. Cortisol, overexpressed. Down-regulate the production of neurotrophic factors. So, less neuronal repair, more apoptosis of neurons, stress and dementia, stress and Alzheimer's. But what made me falling in love with this paper is this one. Please look. HPA activation, stress, under stress. We inflame ourselves, but not the good inflammation, able to neutralize viruses or bacteria, but a bastard inflammation. That is the low-grade chronic systemic inflammation, continuously. Low-grade chronic inflammation activates some enzymes, especially, please underline this, IDO, 2,3-indolamine deoxygenase. Why, Alessandro, you are so in love with IDO? I hate it. IDO is able to shift the metabolism of tryptophan, the physiological metabolism of tryptophan. Tryptophan, 5-hydroxytryptophan, serotonin, in the pathway of kynurenine. What is kynurenine? Kynurenine is a fake serotonin. So it doesn't work as a serotonin, but he used the precursor tryptophan, 5-hydroxytryptophan. Not only kynurenine is a fake serotonin, but it is a strong neurotoxin. Kynurenine is able to make tangles in the amyloids. So, now we understand which is the connection between stress, dementia, stress, Alzheimer's. Everything is mediated by this. That is the topic of this seminar. Low-grade chronic inflammation. Do you know which is the molecules, the real guilty person in low-grade chronic inflammation? Is a molecule, an interleukin, called interleukin-6. We will study a lot very soon, this interleukin. High level of interleukin-6 activate this pathway. Thanks God, please write this because this is the most important message of today. Thanks God, we are able to neutralize interleukin-6. There is another interleukin that is able to downregulate interleukin-6, and it is called interleukin-10. Interleukin-10. We prepare this molecule as a pharmaceutical, and the name is Guna interleukin-10. It is the most powerful medication in controlling low-grade chronic systemic inflammation. That means, more or less, all the chronic diseases. In this moment, at the University of Turin, we are performing a very interesting controlled clinical trial in treatment of fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia exactly follow that pathway. Typical in fibromyalgia is